I've got a confession to make.
I've got another confession to make.
If you're used to watching my videos, you're probably used to my house looking like this in the background. Nice, clean, tidy, organized, all that good stuff. And while I wish I could tell you that that is always how my house looks and that's just how I live on a day-to-day basis, unfortunately, that would not be the truth. Being organized is not something that comes naturally to me, and in fact, left to my own devices, I tend to be a pretty messy person. Let me show you what my house is actually looking like right now. Computer charger on the couch. Dog toys piled up on top of the crate. I emptied the dishwasher and left all the dishes on the counter to dry for the last probably 3 days. These are receipts and bills that I meant to file away and did not. Laptop in the middle of the counter. Camera charger in the middle of the counter. Tea towel in the middle of the counter. And that's not even touching on the upstairs. This past week, I had a painter here painting all the walls in my house. Yes, I started. Yes, I gave up. And when the house has to be painted, everything has to be moved out of the way. I've always personally found it quite easy to keep my house clean and tidy when my house is already clean and tidy because I'm already motivated to keep it looking nice. But likewise, I've always found that when things get messy and things get dirty, it's very easy just to make it worse. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 really quick, really easy ways you can keep your house organized and clutter-free. Put on a song and get it done. This works perfectly for small, tedious tasks like putting these dishes away, or maybe folding laundry, or emptying the dishwasher, or taking out the trash. Put on a song that's like 3 to 5 minutes long, and while that song is playing, get that small task done. The time will fly by really quickly, you won't even notice that it's been done, and then it's over, and you don't have to think about it again. Ta-da! All better. Tip number 2 is to just say no, specifically to things that are being given to you for free that you know have no value. The truth is that most things that are being given to you for free are being given to you for free because they have no value.
Oh my god!
What is it?
Trampoline!
The easiest way to stop your house from getting cluttered is to not allow it to get cluttered in the first place, to not bring those things through your door. So things like free sample products or promotional items or gifts that you don't actually want. Junk mail, advertisements, business cards, pamphlets, just say no thank you to anything you know you don't actually want or need. And that way you never have to worry about it cluttering your home in the first place. Play the counter is lava. You know when you were a kid and you played the floor is lava and you'd like jump back and forth between the beds and the couch and the coffee table and the furniture to avoid touching the floor? Do that with your countertops. Do that with all of your surfaces so that nothing accumulates. If something doesn't belong in a certain place, make a rule where that surface is lava and you cannot put it there, not even for a second. Things that don't belong in the kitchen can't go on the kitchen counter. Things that don't belong on the credenza can't go on the credenza. And things that don't belong in your office or on your desk should never be allowed to touch the top of your desk. Speaking of desks, this is my brand new sit-stand desk made by the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. This is the FlexiSpot EC5 electric sit-stand desk. I've been using it for the last few weeks now and have found the ability to adjust my position while working and especially while editing videos to be amazing. Mine has a black metal motorized frame and a sustainable bamboo top, but the best part of FlexiSpot desks is that they're totally customizable. You can pick your frame and then pair it with one of their many different desktops to make the perfect custom desk for your needs. The desktops come in many different shapes, sizes, colors, and finishes. The digital keypad makes it super easy to adjust the height up and down, and even allows you to program up to 3 preset heights so you can lock in the settings that are most comfortable to you. The desk was very easy to put together. I was able to fully assemble it on my own in under an hour. The screw holes are all pre-drilled, so you basically just have to put the frame together, connect the cables, and then screw it into the desktop. Nice and straightforward. The frame has 2 built-in motors and is made of steel, so needless to say, it's very heavy, but it's also very strong and sturdy and should last for many years. If you'd like to check out FlexiSpot and get yourself a sweet custom motorized desk, check out the link in the description box below. Tip number 4 is to assign an outbox. When you think about your email, an outbox is where your message sits when it's on its way out. Well, your house needs an outbox too. An outbox can be a physical box, or it can be a location where you store things that you know you need to get out of the house. This can include anything from parcels you need to mail, to items that you've borrowed and need to return, to things you need to take out to the trash, or things you need to donate, or maybe anything that you've sold and have set aside for a buyer to come get. Basically, anything that does not have a fixed home in your home needs to go into the outbox so you know to get it out. Personally, I use the hallway closet because it's somewhere that I see every single day. It's somewhere that I go to every time I leave the house. So if I open the hallway closet and there's something in there that I know I need to get out, I can take it out with me whenever I leave next. Tip number 5 is to find a home for everything. For me, one of the biggest sources of clutter in my home used to be that I left all of my tech gear, my chargers, my hard drives, my cables, all of that stuff on the bottom shelf right here of my coffee table. And the reason that I did that is because I often sit on the couch when I'm sending work emails or when I'm editing videos. And so having all of that stuff right here made perfect sense, but it looked terrible. It became really hard to find everything. It became very messy. So all I did really simply was I bought a basket. And now all of my tech stuff, my hard drives, my dongles, little tripods, AirPods, all that stuff lives in this basket. And so it's still where I need it to be, but it's well organized and I know where everything is and it's contained. Another place that I've done this is in my kitchen. This is the cupboard where all of my small appliances live. I have my food processor, my blender, my espresso maker, all the things that would otherwise clutter my counter. But also, because this cupboard is now full and I have no space for anything else, it means I can't buy any more small appliances unless I'm willing to get rid of one of these things. And it helps to keep things really well organized and stops me from over purchasing. For tip number 6, I want to introduce you to one of my best friends. This guy right here, my robot vacuum. Not only is a robot vacuum just a really good way to vacuum and keep your floors clean, but it forces you to be more tidy, because if you leave things on the floor, you know what happens when you run the robot vacuum? It eats them. So I know that before I'm able to run this robot vacuum, I have to pick up all of the dog toys. If I've dropped a sweater on the floor, it has to be picked up. If there's anything in the way, cables, cords, everything has to be kept out of the way, and it forces me to be a lot tidier than it otherwise might be. Also, the really annoying shrieking noise it makes when it gets stuck on something has caused me to be extremely disciplined to make sure that doesn't happen, because it grates on my nerves, let me tell you. Borrow instead of buying. If there's an item that you really only need to use once or you only need for a very short period of time, rather than wasting money on it and bringing one more item into your home that's going to cause clutter, just borrow it from somebody. Not only does that mean that you don't have to store it long term, but it means that very quickly you're going to get it out of your house because you have to give it back to its rightful owner. I often will do this with tools or with really anything else that I need really quickly. Recently I needed a wrench and I don't have any wrenches. I could have gone to Home Depot. Home Depot's 2 minutes from me. I could have bought one, but instead I just sent a message to my next door neighbor and said, hey, can I trouble you? Can I borrow a wrench for an hour? And I borrowed it and I used it and I gave it right back. Not only did it save me the trouble and the money, but now I don't have a wrench somewhere that I have to find a home for. Tip number 8 to keep your home organized and clutter-free is to subscribe to this channel so you can get more helpful videos like this one. Just get rid of it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That thing that you've been thinking about, that you thought maybe you don't need, but maybe you do need, but maybe you'll hang on to just in case, the thing that doesn't have a home in your home, the thing you didn't need yesterday or last week, but you might need tomorrow or the week after, but probably won't. Just get rid of it. If you can't remember the last time you used something and you don't even know when or if you're going to use it again in the future, it's probably time to get rid of it. Free yourself of the burden of that item and give it to somebody who will actually make use of it. And finally, tip 10 is probably the one that has made the biggest difference in my life personally, and that is to either go paperless with your bills or pay them immediately and shred them as soon as you get them in the mail. For me personally, paper clutter has been one of the most annoying things in my life, one of the things that is the most unsightly and the easiest to slip into. And so I've made a new routine where as soon as I pick up the mail, if I have any paper bills, I pay them as soon as they're in my hands, and that way I can shred them and get them out of the house, or better yet, go paperless and then they just go into my email and there's nothing cluttering my house in the first place. I'm a big believer in the idea that your home should be your sanctuary. It should be somewhere that you feel tranquil. But if you walk through the door and you find yourself feeling stressed and overwhelmed and anxious and chaotic with all of the clutter and all of the mess, it's time to make a change. And I'm hoping that these 10 tips will be something that will help you to do that. If you think that there's anything I missed or you personally have any other tips you think would be a good addition to this list, drop them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video or you found these tips at all helpful, please hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Take care, and I'll see you guys next week.